Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you today, Kristen?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's Thursday, just about there.
Yeah.
3-day weekend for some of us.
Do you have it off?
I do,
I had to.
and do you?
I had to take it off.
Oh, okay. It's interesting enough that even though it's a 3-day weekend, like I work harder at home than at work. So it's kind of like I'm going to work an extra day more than a 3-day weekend.
Like, especially because everybody will be home on Monday.
That's what I mean, exactly.
You need to take Tuesday. You need to take the day after the holiday.
Sometimes Sunday night, I'd be like, come on, Monday. I could chill.
Parents are probably the only people in the world who are like,
Who would say that?
get here.
Yeah. Yep. Especially as long as it's during the school year,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So,
So,
welcome to Bull Spit. This is the show where we discuss all things bulls and bullish. My name is Emilio Bucks,
my name is Kristen Petite.
and we are the Bull Spitters. Welcome. All right, Kristen, let's jump right in. By the way, we got a special guest stopping by, a friend of the podcast, the Superback. Sean will be joining us in maybe another 10 minutes or so.
Okay. Sounds good.
So let's jump right in. Bulls currently sitting at 26 and 29,
Mm-hmm.
fourth in the division.
Yeah.
Of how many teams in the division?
I don't know.
4, I think.
There's 4 in the division.
So they're fourth. It's a nice way of saying last. Fourth.
Fourth though, it does make it seem like they're doing all right.
Yeah, like, oh, maybe they got a shot. No, 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 no. Currently, in that ninth play-in spot, though, give you a little bit more of a grand scheme picture of where they are as far as the playoffs goes and the rest of the Eastern Conference goes in that 9 hole, which is what? Where were they last year at this time?
55 games into the season, they were 26 and 29.
Interesting. The
Exact.
the exact same record.
And when you hear that, and then you look at some of the stats I pulled, and remember, it seems like they're so much better of a team, but it's really the same. Just there have been some players who have improved, most
And some
notably
players who have kind of
regress.
regressed.
Yes. So it's all evened out. They didn't get the players who were already good, didn't stay as good as they were.
Right.
Then have it make a difference when people like Kobe's shooting a better percentage, 10 more points per game. And then you
Wow,
got
that's a huge
Caruso.
jump.
Yeah. Caruso, he's like 4 points more per game. DeRozan's actually gone down. Io went up like 2, about not really 1.5. We said Kobe's like 10. Vooch is the same. He's just 0.1 difference. And that's kind of weird considering his percentage at 3-point. Patrick Williams is actually 0.2 points lower. Drummond's up 2.1. And Zach was down like 5.3. And then when you had Derrick Jones last year, he was at 5. And now you have Torrey Craig, he's at 6. So that's like a 1.1.
Okay,
And
kind of helps.
when you combine all of the point guards from last year, they were at 5, and then you look at Javon Carter's 5.1. So there you go. That's why they're exactly the same.
Even Steven.
So, it made look better because they're shooting the 3 ball better, but then they're a little worse shooting 2.
Yeah, and I'm not even. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. I'm not even sure if it looks better to me, to be
No,
honest.
you
Like,
know, it was. Go ahead. I'm sorry, to be honest.
oh no, it's less interesting because it's kind of like the same results.
Hmm.
And once again, Zach is now hurt, which he was hurt last season.
But
Uh,
actually, he only missed 5 games.
last season?
Well, I'm sorry. He played 77 games last season.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mistake.
You remember he didn't play back-to-backs in the beginning, and then he missed a little bit, but then he played like 60 something games in a row,
Oh,
about 62 games in a row last year.
well,
He missed
slap
it
me
in
silly.
he missed it in the beginning, and he couldn't do the back-to-back right away.
Okay. All right. All
And,
right.
yeah,
You're
and
right.
then he had
You're right.
77. Yeah, so he actually played more games than DeRozan last year.
Huh? Isn't that something?
Yeah, and Caruso had 67. You know, Vooch and Patrick Williams played all 82. Right now, on pace to play all 82 is Kobe and Andre Drummond.
That's very interesting. Two players that have brought a little bit more to the table this year.
Mhm.
One just needed the opportunity for Billy to give Andre the opportunity, and he seems to have it. And he's finally playing him with Vooch occasionally now.
Mhm.
Very good, Billy. I don't know what took you so long.
You know, Vooch does. He sets Drummond up well. They have like a good 2-man game. It's more Vooch because Andre's rarely throwing it once he gets it. But like Vooch will get it at the top of the key, and he's looking for Drummond.
Right. They're playing together, not just
Yes,
parallel playing, but they're
right. And
actually trying to run some sets.
yeah, they seem to like it. So you know, Ios made this big jump with his 3-point percentage.
You know, and yeah, speaking of, I'm really surprised when you said he's only up 1 point something or other points. Like I would have thought that.
No, yeah, oh yeah, he is 1.5.
You know, it's really deceiving because I really would have thought that he was up by at least 3 points or something. You know.
Right. Well, you remember he didn't really start scoring this much till later in this year.
He
In the
he
beginning,
did
remember, like in the
struggle.
beginning, yeah, in the beginning he struggled, and that's why I was like, why did they sign him for 3 years? Oh my gosh.
That's true. And even with his improvement, I still don't know why they're signing for 3 years.
Me either.
But
Then this could have been a prove it year and then sign him maybe 1 year, 2 years
I
at the
mean,
most. We'll
if you
play
wanted
out.
to do right by him, because I don't think there was like a ton of interest in him
That's
from the
why he was
league.
still sitting there so
Yeah.
long.
So it was like you want to do right by him, sign him something short term
Yeah.
so he could prove himself to the rest of the league or to you. But hey, I don't know shit. Well, you know.
Yeah. And then for all the talk that we heard about, like during that real good stretch of Patrick Williams, his average was still only 14 points. And then when you for the whole year, his average is only 10. So it's like, is that still enough from him?
Right.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, like that's still not what you're looking for.
And what about Vooch? His 3-point shooting is down.
Yeah, his 3-point shooting, he was shooting 34% last year. He's at 27. So he's
Yeah.
dropped
And
7%.
that's been noticeable.
Yeah. But his points per game is 17.5. It was 17.6 last year.
So he hasn't lost anything.
Not as much as it seems. Yeah.
That's
It's
really
just,
interesting. You know, the stats say one thing, but then while you're watching, it
yeah.
seems like a little bit different. You know, like I said with the whole aisle thing, like
Yeah.
you know.
And for like Vooch and even DeMar, remember at the beginning of the year, they couldn't even hit like the mid-range, their layups. Vooch still misses things 3 feet from the basket that he didn't miss last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it is amazing. And like, remember how we used to complain about Tibbs and minutes per game? The fact that Kobe and DeRozan are 1 and 2 in the league.
Yeah,
Just can't keep doing that. DeRozan 37 minutes, Kobe 36, Vooch 34. That's a
No,
lot of minutes.
that's a
And two of
lot of
those
minutes.
guys are old.
That's a lot of minutes, especially for those older guys.
Yeah, and DeRozan was 36 minutes last year, and Vooch was 33.5, and Zach was 35 last year.
Stacey King recently made the comment about Kobe seeming a little tired. I mean, he went off for 32 last night in Cleveland. So I mean,
it's like he has to get his second wind in the second half.
Yeah.
He looks worn out, and then it's like he goes back and has a 5-hour energy or something. whatever they do to themselves to come and look better the second half. Yeah, so while there's been the, some of those are elevating, some are right here, and then there's others. There's really no difference from last year, and that's why we're the exact same record.
Same place. Same exact place.
And they're 4 games out of being in the 7th, and 4.5 out of being in the 6th. 7 games, they're not going to catch 5th. 7 games out of the 5th spot. So at the most, I can't see the Pacers, Heat, and Magic going on that big of a losing streak, or the Bulls going on that big of a winning streak to leapfrog all of them to get to the 6th. Now, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened in the NBA. I mean, who would have thunk that Kyle Lowry would end up in Philly, and the whole Miami thing kind of has faltered.
Yeah, and then who would have thought that the Charlotte Hornets would be playing so well right now when they got rid of PJ Washington and Terry Rozier,
and Michael Jordan.
Right, I was like, they were all holding them back. They were terrible.
Yeah,
and they've gone on. I mean, they're still 13-41, but they've gone on like a little winning streak.
Yeah,
so who would have thought that? So it's. And I think, how you said watching it now, it's still not even that good of basketball. I think the initial excitement of how they were playing has worn off. So while before it used to be like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is how they need to play and blah, blah, blah. But it's exciting always in the second half. But the first half,
they tend to come out flat.
Yeah, still. Yeah. And that was always their problem last year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do they need to does Billy need to wear them out before the game so it can feel like it's the second half and the first half?
That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
Well, let's go ahead and bring in our guest.
Okay.
This is a friend of the podcast, my man Sean, the Superback Sierra,
Emilio.
Emilio.
Oh man, not much, bro. Not much. Oh, busy day, long day.
Yeah.
Busy day tomorrow, long day. Kristen,
what's up, man? You?
I'm good. A little tired. Tired of all these jamokes and all the pro Caleb people acting like petulant children when something doesn't go their way. And
exactly,
man.
So
it's not so on that and on that front.
So while we have you here, before we get to some, what'd you say?
I'm reading his AKA Greg.
Oh, okay. Tell us, before we get into some more bullspit, let's pivot towards a little Bears update. We here at Bullspit, we keep up with the Bears too, in case you didn't know. So where are you sitting right now on the ongoing saga, Sean, of the number 1 pick that belongs to the Chicago Bears?
I've been consistent from Jump Street. Keep Justin and build around him. People, it's interesting how people who are pro Caleb seem to be of a certain demographic. And I know there's some black folks who want Caleb to be drafted as well, but for the majority, it seems to be a lot less melanated people. It's just interesting. It's very interesting. However, it's not like you're getting a black guy for a black guy. It's not like
You getting like? Are you getting a less black?
A lighter skin one? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right, right.
But my thing is this: is Justin, man. You know, the thing is, people have, people forget the horrible situation that Justin was put in, and still he never complained. He was pretty successful as much as he can be without proper coaching. You threw him to the Lions his first year. You took away his defense, stripped it down, where they gave up 33 points a game his second year, and you expect the guy to win. So never complained, never did anything. The only thing he talked about was last year or 2 years ago, and then last year, this past season we just talked about. He said the coaching, maybe it's just it's crazy. And this guy he's been in the top 100 NFL players, voted by NFL players, voted by NFL players,
Wow.
not by jamokes who haven't seen a football field,
Right.
Since high school or grammar school. And so many different teams want him, except a faction of this Bears Nation. The Pittsburgh Steelers are rumored to want him. The Atlanta Falcons are rumored to want him. And it's interesting why our people, I mean, they're Bears fans. They have such hatred toward him.
Right? Let me ask you, Sean. Like Pittsburgh, Sean enters Atlanta. Like, have you gotten word about from heard anything about Ryan Poles, and like, does he want him? Like, where's Kevin at on him? Are they still playing, mum? And
well, Kevin did an interview with Jared that was all over WGN and also all over social media yesterday, and Kevin's a politician. Okay. He was very respectful of Justin, said, I'm glad he's our quarterback. It seemed like he seemed like Justin was there for the long haul by what he said, but also, again, you got to remember he's a politician, and he's not going to disrespect Justin by saying he's gone if they plan to trade him. All right. You got to respect your players. All right. He is still employed by the Chicago Bears. He's on a contract by the Chicago Bears through the end of next year. Okay. So he has to be very respectful of that. So he did well. I mean, he did the political thing and said Justin is our guy now. Okay.
Well, I have to say that is very different from most of the other teams in this city, because most of the other teams in this city, they trash the people that they want to trade. It's amazing. When I heard Kevin Warren talking, I was like, oh, okay. If he does plan on trading him, at least he's not making it sound like he's such damaged goods and
trying to turn the city against him.
Right. Yeah. Like
okay
teams.
for trading him.
Right. Like other teams. So that
those are Reinsdorf teams.
That's true.
But also, let's not forget it. I mean, he's still gonna hype him up, because if they are going to trade him, they want to make sure that teams realize that he is, he's a good guy, and he's not a problem. Just basically trying to keep his value high. So he's not going to say anything like that. Like I said, he's a well-versed politician. I've stated from Jump Street, I think that Justin is the best person to lead this franchise, and it's no disrespect to Caleb Williams. I don't have any animosity toward Caleb Williams, all right? But it seems like the pro Caleb cult. If you say anything about Caleb, anything about Justin, well, now all of a sudden, you're kicking dogs in the face. It's like, come on, dude. It's like it's not that serious. And they talk about the breakdown, and it's interesting. There's a couple people who break down things, and they're like, well, the tape says everything. The tape, doesn't have any emotion and this, and I'm like, I said, and this is how stupid people are, and this is how it's easy to manipulate the masses. I said, no, the tape is exactly the tape, or the film is a film. I was like, but if I show you 10 plays of Justin Fields having bad plays, you're going to think Justin's bad. If I show you 10 plays of Caleb Williams doing well, you're going to think Caleb Williams is the next best thing since the invention of the forward pass. I'm like, so I said those things can be used to manipulate people, and they have been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
it makes a better story.
And for me, here's the thing. Justin has been inconsistent. I've never wavered from that. I've never, backed off of that. I've never claimed that Justin was the best thing since sliced bread. What I have said is that Justin needs coaching. I should have wore this. I took it off to put this on. I created a shirt.
That's right.
Matters,
Coaching
yeah.
matters.
I created this shirt. I'm like, you don't understand what. I'm like, everyone talks about. Well, we passed on Patrick Mahomes in 2017. We passed on C.J. Stroud and last year, and I'm like, listen, if you, it's so funny. See, people don't know how to debate. All right, let's not tell anyone I'm pretty smart too, so I can use things against you. But they'll sit there and say, well, C.J. Stroud came in and he led them to the playoffs. I said, true, factual. And I said, however, you show me a good quarterback, someone that you think is good, and I'll show you a guy who developed him. I'll give you the name of the guy who developed him. You get anyone in the NFL, give me a good quarterback, and let's see who Justin had. All right, and I said, so C.J. Stroud came into a situation. I said, have you heard the name Bobby Slowick? I said, all you've heard is his name being thrown around for potential head coaching jobs. I said, so he walked into a situation with a guy who knew how to develop quarterbacks.
Not to mention their team was they had a decent team.
Well, no, they had, remember, they had the second pick, and then they traded back up for the third pick. So they're coming off a really crap season last year. But you got a head coach, which is important. You got an offensive coordinator who maximized his quarterback, and that's all we're asking. Maximize Justin. So when people say, "Oh, well, I saw Caleb," it's so interesting when people say, "Well, Caleb does this, this, and this, and he did he did this in college." I'm like, "That's college, homie. That ain't the NFL." I said, you won't. So then I said, okay, here's the thing. Caleb Williams is great, right? How many Pac-12 titles did he have? How many college football playoff appearances did he have? Oh, but now it's a team sport. Now everything can't be on a quarterback. I said, okay, then keep that same energy when you're talking with Justin. Use that same energy when his defense is giving up 33 points a game. You expect him to win with Amir Smith-Marset, with Dante Pettis, with Equinemius St. Brown. You expect him to win and stay in a shootout with those when that's his receiving core? Come on, man. Now, but now it's not a team sport. Now it's a quarterback supposed to win. And then I went back and I said something to someone else today. I said, "Hey, dude," I'm like, has he ever won a game against a ranked opponent, Caleb Williams? I'm like, because this guy's generational. So, I've seen generational players. I've seen Barry Sanders win a football game by himself in college. Literally, no blocking, just running around people. I've seen Michael Vick in college beat people by himself. Pass protection breaks down, he runs, he buys time, hits a receiver. I've seen it. So if your guy's generational, why can't he do that? Why couldn't he have done that? Well, it's a team. Also, again, now it's a team sport. It's everything to change it, bro. I hear it is Justin. I've said this, and I will not back down on this. Justin Fields, if given proper coaching, could be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. You've seen he's made every throw that's necessary. He's just inconsistent. And the way you deal with inconsistency is coaching. Okay? You work on those things all day. You demand this from your player. Because when things happen on the field, there's only one of two reasons. They're either coached or they're allowed. And if you allow Justin to continue to do that, continue to have bad habits, continue to do this, well, guess what? That's your responsibility as a coach. Don't run away from the responsibility of coaching.
I don't know much about the new OC, but do you think Eberflus as the head coach is the guy that can get the best out of Justin?
No, I think the new OC can. The new OC's got a track record. He's worked with Russell Wilson. He's worked with Geno. Hell, he even got Geno Smith an extension. All right, Geno was just a wayward veteran, a journeyman. And now do
you think he remind me of his name, please?
Shane Waldron.
Shane Waldron. Could we see him replacing Eberflus someday?
No.
Or is it too early to tell?
No. Because if they do well, then Eberflus keeps his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he won't be here long. If they do well, he'll be gone. And
What
the
if they
thing that-
stagger out of the gate?
no, you got to wait 17 weeks, bro. You can't. People are so
Eberflus.
people will say, you start off 0-2, 0-3, people go crazy. You start off 1-2, like, oh God, Chicken Little, the sky's falling. You can go on a 5-game win streak. You can go on a 7-game win streak. If there's
0-5.
He's not getting fired.
Do we
0-5.
fire Eberflus if we're 0-5?
No, they're not going to fire him. They don't do that. They don't fire people in the middle of the season, so they're not going to do it because again, everything can change. I mean, you saw there was a stretch, not this past season in 23, but in 22, where the Bears put up 30 points a game in the middle of their streak. In the middle of the losing streak, they put up 30 points a game, and the record was 1-4. So obviously, we could put up points, and that was with Smith, Amir Marset, with Dante Pettis, with EQ St. Brown, with N'Keal Harry as his wide receivers. He was able to put up 30 points. All I'm saying is, people want to project what Caleb's going to do, because when people say Caleb's a better passer, I'm like, he hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL. You can't tell me someone's a better passer in the NFL if he's never thrown a pass in the NFL. I've seen Justin Fields put 100 miles an hour and hit a receiver between 3 defenders. I've seen him throw a little humpback line drive over a jumping linebacker. I've seen him drop it in the bucket 30, 40, 50 yards downfield. I've seen him hit the seam on a wide open seam shot. I've seen it in the NFL, not college, in the NFL. It's inconsistency, and that's where coaching comes in. And when he's coached up well, and what they did, which I really like what Ryan Poles did, he insulated himself. So he has Shane Waldron, quarterback coach is Kerry Joseph. They have a passing game coordinator, all right, in Brown is his last name, Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown actually interviewed for the offensive coordinator position here. He didn't get it. So if Justin goes nuts, 3,500 yards, and God willing, 4,000 yards, Shane Waldron's out of here. He's getting a head coaching gig. He might take Kerry Joseph with him. But you know what? Now you bring in Thomas Brown, who there'll be some consistency here. There'll be somebody that Justin is familiar with. And that's the one thing that you need. You need consistency. You need familiarity. You need something to be seamless, because if a good coach, especially when in the NFL, when good coaches or when coaches have good seasons, when coordinators have good seasons, they're usually up for head coaching gigs. It's just the way it works.
That sounds like a great strategy. Just the pessimist in me, just with the Bears and all, like, will they get this right?
Well,
never seem to get it right. But
it's
I hope they do,
It's PTSD from us Bear fans. But you have to understand that they got a new regime that's buffering the McCaskies. All right, the McCaskies aren't in there making decisions anymore. Okay, that we know of. All right, that's the key phrase that we know. That's the operative phrase that we know of.
Right.
All right, Kevin Warren. All right, Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, the assistant GM. He said in the interview, he says, we're going to make it together. Now, obviously, Ryan Poles makes the final decision, but he's going to get input from Kevin Warren, who's his boss. He's going to get input from Ian Cunningham, who's the assistant GM, and then he's going to make the choice. What's really funny is that pro Caleb cult. All I've seen is them telling Kevin Warren what his job is. Like, you're not even in personnel decisions. You're not even here. You're just supposed to be for the stadium. I'm like, who the frick are you telling someone what their job description is? And you don't even work for the organization, but you want to sit here and bolded and tell someone you can't. You don't here make personnel decisions. I'm like, who the frick are you, dude? That pro Caleb cult is really bold and emboldened. They're arrogant. They're condescending. Man, I'm like, I love how you like to tell somebody from an organization, a company you don't work for, what his job is. Ain't that some spit?
This is what the stuff is made of. Is look how much discussion there is. The Bears haven't played in over a month, and it'll be months before they play, but there's still a hot topic around town.
Hot topic.
It will be all the way through the season and everything. That's how passionate this city is about the Bears. I can appreciate that. We're blinded by our passion. Yep. But once again, if you're just joining us, we're joined here by a friend of the podcast, Sean Sierra. Sean, let's pivot into some Bulls talk, brother.
Do it, baby. Let's do it. Act like Bo Jackson Knight can just do it.
There we go. There we go. Okay, Sean got bars.
Yeah, I'm a kid. I grew up in the 80s. You know, the 90s. I was in college. Beginning of 90s, I was in college. That was right my wheelhouse, dog.
No,
You name it, I got it, baby.
The good time. I think I wish I was about 10 years older sometimes. I think I missed the good era. But so we're talking about these Bulls who are sitting 26 and 29.
Okay.
Fourth in the division, which we've discussed. Oh, actually, Kristen, there are 5 teams in the division, including Detroit, who are lower than the Bulls. So
they're lower than whale crap, dude.
Yeah.
I almost feel bad for them, dude. Almost.
Man, Detroit's sitting at 8-46.
Dude, they ain't got double-digit wins yet.
Oh no, and the Washington Wizards are sitting at 9-45.
Yeah, they only have 8 wins, I think. Right?
8 wins.
Oh wow.
And
28.5 games back. They are.
No. Hey, what happened to the bad boys? They're bad, all right. They're bad, all right.
I still have a thing against Detroit a little bit too. I just can't help it.
Me too.
Only because I know there's people who are alive who are Bad Boys fans
and talking all that ish.
Yeah.
Now where you at?
Yeah.
Now you're big Lions fans, I bet, right?
Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, that's all they got.
Until next year when they go back to lying again. So big story this year has been the play of Kobe White, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see him keeping this up? Is this the official coming out party for Kobe White? And is this what we can look forward to, for the foreseeable future, do you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. This Kobe Knight became an overnight success in 4 or 5 years. It's all it took him to be an overnight success was 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Okay. The constant trade rumors. Okay. He was on the trading block like every year. He's been on the trading block.
Yeah.
All right. And he ignored it, put his head down, went to work. Okay. Always added something to his game. All right. 3-point shooting kept getting better and better. Not by great amounts every year, but 2 to 5%. Over 1 year, it's 2 to 5%. But 2 to 5% over another year, that's 4 to 10%. 2 to 5% over another year, okay, that's 6 to 15%.
All right, you do the math.
So if you increase your 3-point percentage by 15%. Hold on, player. Hold on, player. Now you're in there with the studs, with the Steph Currys and the Dame Lillards and all those guys where you're hitting over 40%. And that's what he did. He got himself in the weight room. All right. I think the fact that he had a lot of support from his teammates, from DeMar, from Zach. I want to say DeMar more than Zach, but I know Zach is still. I'm still not.
No, they've been together the longest. It's been a lot of Zach.
Yeah, but I think Kobe just had a basketball camp, and Zach wasn't there. It was DeMar. So and I know Zach's hurt. And we'll talk about his inflammation that held him off for 6 weeks, but that's another story. But I think his teammates have been good, and here's the thing: is like they've pushed him, but not only did they push him, he responded. That's the thing that's the thing that gives me mad respect for him. You had all this stuff, all these trade rumors swirling around every single freaking year. You had jamokes who ain't played basketball, since grammar school, talking about trade him. Kobe sucks. Do this, do that. It's in the media. It's in social media. Excuse me. Okay. And he ignored it. Went about his job like a professional. And that's where I think DeMar helped him. So, hey, don't worry about it. Because to me, DeMar seems a lot more professional than Zach. And that's not a disrespect to Zach. All right. It just seems that DeMar is older. And I think his years, a lot more seasoned, and his advice is a lot more meaningful. It hits harder, and I think
sage.
yeah, more sage. Yeah, and I think him talking to Kobe really did a number because Kobe White's here to stay, and I can't tell you how happy I am. I can't tell you how freaking happy I am because this dude is full of confidence. Dude, this dude's pulling up from Steph and Dame range. Am I lying? Am I lying? He's pulling up from the 3/4 court. He's stepping off the logo and pulling and hitting. I mean, this dude is feeling it. So he's got that confidence, and that confidence isn't going anywhere. And the great part about it is he's getting 6-7 assists a night. He ain't just chucking. He's not a chucker. He's getting 6-7 assists a night. How much more do you want? They asked him to be the point guard. He wasn't a true point guard, but guess what? That's another aspect of his game he worked on. So not only is he hitting from 3, now is he hitting from Winnetka, he's still giving 6, 7, 8 dimes in a game. So the guy's hitting, 25, 30 points and giving out 6-7 assists. Man, this dude is playing with the utmost confidence, the most confidence that I've seen him play ever, and it's only going to continue to grow. It's unfortunate that he wasn't an all-star or in a 3-point contest. He needs to be there. He'll be there next year if he continues to progress the way he has. But he should have been there this year. But that dude he's here and he's here to stay.
We should have had somebody represented the All-Star game.
There were a lot of guards so better than him.
There are.
So he couldn't get in. There's too many ahead of him.
True.
I mean, next year if he's doing this, he might.
One of the things I think though, you also have to look at not just numbers. And if you want to look at the numbers, why don't we look at improvement? Like if you go, you know what I mean? Like if you're hitting, let's just say you're hitting 32% from 3-point land, but now you're hitting 42%, 43%. That's a big difference. That's a big jump. You know what I mean? Like the improvement from one year to the next. Now his numbers might not be as gaudy as somebody else's, but what if this guy's always getting 28 points a game? You know what I mean? Like I think they should also take into consideration what jump did he make from last year to this year? Because that jump, the guy who has 28, what if he had 27.5 last year and now he's got 27.8? I mean, come on. But you got a guy who jumps up his 3-point. First of all, his points per game improves, his shooting percentage improves, his 3-point percentage improves, his assists improve, like all these things. That to me qualifies as an all-star. It's not just because of Kobe. I mean literally throughout the league. It just happens that Kobe's in that spot this year.
And I think if he continues this next year, he's got a good shot at getting that all-star nod.
I do too.
They just got to make sure he's like real deal with it. You know what I mean? I think, I'm not mad that he didn't make it this year. Like I get it, like you said, Christian. There are some guys.
Tyrese.
I mean, you add Dame to the East Coast.
Yeah, thanks to East Conference, Dame.
There's like Maxey, Trae Young. Like there's a whole
Halliburton.
Yeah,
right.
Tyrese Maxey
come out.
There's a lot of jumping that he is, and while he's in that most improved player thing, there's just a lot of point guards.
A lot of guards out there. There's what's going on? Where's the big man at? Like we are short big men. We are very guard heavy, very top heavy. We love these 6'5" guards, which we've talked about.
6'5".
Right now, what is the biggest piece? I know the Bulls are missing multiple pieces, but if you're GM for a day and you can fix one thing about the Bulls, Sean, what do you fix today?
Get Laurie marketing back somehow, some way.
Okay. So an all-star caliber player.
Yeah, who we drafted and kind of developed, and then he goes somewhere else to other places, and they finish the job developing him, and now look at that sucker.
Yeah.
Imagine him play with Vooch when he could.
Imagine that combination now. A stretch 4. A legit stretch 4. But keeping it without making it.
Well, we got Patrick Williams, so.
And they're in love with him because of that improvement, that one little stretch of 14 points per game. I mean, he's at 10 points per game so far this season. He was
you know what he needs, Kristen?
10.2 last year.
You know what he needs? He needs a shrink. Okay, and I'm not being facetious by any stretch. He needs a sports psychologist because we've seen him take over games.
I could believe that that's what he's missing. He's missing.
We've seen him dominate games from summer league to games where Zach and DeMar are out. I mean, that's a completely different kid. When Zach and DeMar are out, I mean, he's running the court. He's rebounding a little bit. He ain't a big rebounder, but he's dunking. I mean, he's going to the hole aggressively. He's getting to the line. He's a completely different person. And it seems that when DeMar and Zach are out there, well, now just DeMar, like he always defers to them. And they've been on record saying, no, we want him to shoot, telling him to shoot. And he just, for whatever reason, defers to those. And I'm like, man, dog.
I wish he had the attitude of Tyrus Thomas with his skill set.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bulls would set up the first 5 to 7 plays all to him. They were just like, we're going to try to get you going. And then when he would pass the ball, there was the one time on record where you could hear Zach saying, you know, kind of cussing him out because he decided to throw the ball. He was like, oh my God, Pat. It's like, we're trying to do this for you. And
kind of like Cartwright back in the day, Chris. Remember they would go to Cartwright in the 90s, get him 10 points. He'd finish with 14, but you get him going that first quarter, boy.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. You know, I know the Bulls are probably afraid of another Larry Markkinen issue, and that's why they keep holding on to Patrick Williams. But you're gonna have to get another star. Whether you keep Zach or not, you got to replace those points. So you got to get another star in here. And if he can't play with two now, Kobe, DeMar may be back, and then you have Vooch who can score, and then you're gonna need another one to replace Zach's points, or Zach is back until the trade deadline. Either way, he's gonna have to figure it out because he's not gonna be the main scorer on this team ever. So, and if he can't, and if a psychiatrist or a therapist doesn't work,
hypnotist,
what does he want to make? Like, because he has not played $20 million a year.
Nope.
He's barely 7.
And I'll tell you what, the sad part is, to borrow a line from Bronx Tale, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. And that dude's got a lot of it. And we've seen it. We've seen him, you know, and
no, he's still like a millionaire though. I mean,
yeah. You know, I
not completely wasted.
And somebody's gonna pay him again.
It's not like that bad.
He ain't going to the Wick line anytime soon. That's all I can say.
No, exactly. I mean, he's not like, it ain't like no Ronnie Fields or something tragic like that.
And somebody's gonna pay him. But
was he got to downsize from a 5-bedroom to a 4-bedroom?
Right. This is a shame. Such a waste of
time. He's got to drop from the 50th to the 32nd floor. What's he gonna do?
He's trying to live in a mini mansion.
But going off of what Sean's, it is a waste of could have been $20 million a year talent.
Yeah.
Right.
He did.
I totally get what you're saying.
He's young. His next contract, he could get that if he learns to, does better with rebounding. Like, you got to do more than what he's doing. The fact that, like you've always said, Emilio, when he would play next to Vooch, but he can't ever help rebound.
Right.
Like, you're too big. You have this wide, big. You're supposed to be able to rebound, and the fact that he doesn't enough. I don't know.
Broad shoulders, get people out the way. You got, thick legs, so you can muscle people out. You can root people out.
It's that other thing that he's missing.
Yeah. He can
the
heart.
The heart.
Or the heart.
Right.
Or the mental capacity.
Bring up the ball, initiate offense. Like, he has the skills to do all of that. But yeah, it's not there. He does not have. He definitely doesn't have that dog that everyone talks about.
No, definitely not. And you've seen it. You've seen the development of Kobe. We're seeing the development before our eyes of Io, and I'm liking what I'm seeing with Io starting to get in that little There's a point when athletes get to basketball, football, baseball, whatever, where once they hit it, they're never going to regress. Now they might have a bad year, but their confidence and their numbers are going to be at a certain point because now they've expected it and they've achieved that certain level. Io's starting to get to that point where he's going to be, depending on if he's still coming off the bench, he'll be a 12 to 15 point points per game, off the bench with some key threes, with a little bit of defense. There's some things that Io's going to do. And I'm hoping, and here's the one thing that I'm hoping he works on his 3-point shot.
If I'm Io, that's all I'm working on during the off season is catch and shoot.
Because imagine Kobe. We just talked about, literally just talked 5 minutes ago, talked about his ability to facilitate. He's getting 6-7 assists a game. So he's coming through. If you send a double team at Kobe, somebody's open. All right. And if Kobe's able to get past the double team or he sees it coming and goes the opposite way, now everyone's got to collapse. You find Io in the corner, splash. Having those two guys is huge. And not to mention Caruso as well. I mean, Caruso's another one, but we're talking Io right now. Io's got, I think, one more year, finish this year strong. And I think next year Io's going to be that dude he'll have the same jump next year that I think that Kobe's having this year. And to have two guards having that type of confidence is going to be huge for us. Just we need rebounders.
So I hear what we're saying is, tell me, Sean, do you feel like they're going to run it back next year?
Oh yeah. AK made it clear as day. He only said it 37 times. He want to be competitive. Ain't trying to win nothing.
They're trying to win nothing.
They're fine with the ninth. Yeah, they're fine with the 7th to the 9th. They'll fight for that.
Man, if we get to the playoffs, that's a great year. If we get to the play-in, that's a good year. If we get to the playoffs.
They didn't trade DeMar. He's a free agent. So and they were saying he was talking like he knows he's coming back.
He wants to come back, yeah.
He's going to be a free agent, so he's most likely coming back. Zach, it had surgery, so he's going to have to come back for a little while because someone's going to want to see what he can do. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're running it back up.
And we might have Lonzo Ball back next year.
Now, that's the one thing. That is the joker. That's the joke. That's the joker because this team, this
like jokes
team,
on us or what?
No. I mean, that's the wild card. Because that dude ran this offense well. That dude ran this team well. Hell, we had the best record in the East. Let's not get it twisted. We weren't middle of the pack. We were close to. We were number one seed.
Yeah.
In the East. Now, mind you, Milwaukee was going through some stuff. Philly was going through some stuff. But hey, you know what? No one gives a damn. We had the best record in the East till he got hurt. And there's a whole bunch that could be, done. I don't think they're an NBA title contender, but I think they can. Their ceiling could be maybe get to the Eastern Conference Final. I don't think they can get there. Can't get past Boston or Philly or Milwaukee or Miami, but they might be able to get there. To some of those other guys knock each other out, and there you go. There's the competitive part. Now AK is like, look, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We're in the Eastern Conference semifinals. All right, and people are gonna eat it up because they know you got playoff basketball. You got playoff basketball.
Yeah.
He said, we're trying to compete. We ain't trying to win that.
Yeah, we're trying to win. You crazy?
I mean, they had the exact same record after 55 games this year as they had last year. 26 and 29.
It's a business. We're trying to cut corners, baby. We got to save some money. Oh man, Reinsdorf got to make a little more money this year.
Old man Reinsdorf said, "That's my ass if I don't cut the budget by 8%."
For real.
Yeah,
you make the playoffs.
He runs his teams like a true capitalist. He is not about no competition. He is like, this is a business.
Isn't Drummond?
You ain't too far gone to see that.
I think Drummond has one more year.
Yeah, one more year.
Yeah.
Out of this group, I don't mind most of them coming back. I need a replacement for Patrick Williams, though.
Yeah.
I need somebody different.
I need somebody who's at least
Lauri Markkanen or
somebody who's at least 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah. I need. I'm fine with everybody else coming back. I never wanted Zach to be traded, so I'm fine with him coming back. So for me, the odd man out to get a difference maker to make it more than just a play-in game, because okay, you get Lonzo back, so maybe Carter is an odd man out. But I need someone to replace Patrick Williams, because Do we want to wait another year to see if he finally? Well, he's in his 4th year, and and if you count in all his
Yeah, you ain't
injuries,
gotta convince me of nothing.
I know
But
you
let
never-
go, no
I
Patrick
like
Williams.
Patrick Williams, but at this
Could have been
point,
gone.
something has to change.
You know,
And
think of the players we got rid of, Kristen. Think of Bug-Eye Bobby. You know what I mean? Up in
Yeah.
Milwaukee. I mean, how great would it be to have him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that dude, he's intense, he rebounds, he hits the 3, plays defense. How great would it be to have that Joker back? You know what I
would
mean?
be great.
It's all
Especially
of
instead of Patrick Williams.
yeah. Bobby Portis, man, that dude. You know, and he's a cult hero. Fans love him. The fans love him.
I'm not one of those fans.
No, well, I
You
was.
weren't a fan of Bobby Portis.
No,
Why?
never
Because
when he was
he
here.
popped old boy in the eye. Come on.
I don't care about Mirotic.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was just
King.
that's never the issue about hitting Mirotic. I don't know. There's just always been something about him. Now, if he's here, fine. But there was just always something about him. And I want something different from him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we need some length. We need some length. We
need some length.
Because you know you played in Milwaukee's. Man, they got us. They got us.
And like you hear Kendall and Will Purdue always saying, this team is so nice. All of them. You think Andre Drummond's going to be your enforcer because he has the look, but he's real zen and real namaste. And, you know, he gets excited.
He ain't a jag bag.
No, when he gets excited when he dunks or when he makes a big play, but he's not, you know, like they always say against the Nets. Remember when the Nets hit like 1 billion threes and they were like, someone needed to do a clean, hard foul, but no one on the team's going to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If they do, they're going to pick you up.
Are you okay?
You know,
are you okay? Are you okay, buddy?
So that's
what
Bobby Portis would be good for that. So he could be that, but like they don't have anyone who's like that. You know, Kobe and what's his name got into it yesterday because the guy was tired of Kobe flopping. Because I mean, he's really going to have whiplash at the end of the year, Kobe, because he yanks his head back on every play, whether they hit him.
I think he comes out to whip my hair back and forth. I think that's
right. Is
that Willow?
Yeah.
When his head always jerks back, I'm like, no one's following you.
Oh, Willow Smith. Willow Smith reference on Bull Spit. That's awesome.
Now you got to make a video of all the Kobe's.
I whip my hair back and then showing him like whipping his hair
on all of his little flops.
Somebody should really do that.
That'd be dope. That'd be awesome.
If I didn't have kids and had the time, I would do that.
I can't splice it all together. But I don't know. You know, I like the team that's here, but I know they're not good enough for a championship. They're good enough to
close.
Yeah. But it's like after a while, as fans, aren't you tired of just competing? Like, I want you to actually compete for the Eastern Conference. I want you to actually compete to go to the championship, not compete for the 9th seed. Not like, oh, hopefully we get on a win streak and get to the 7th seed. You don't have home court advantage in the playoffs. You know, right now we're clinging on to a 1-game play-in and then have to do another 1-game play-in after that. That's no way to live.
That's a successful season to the Reinsdorfs.
Yeah,
unfortunately it is. Going to stop coming.
Fans are not going to stop coming,
and that's the issue. You know what? And even if they stop coming, I mean, they still get their money. Like the month that they get off of tickets. Like most of the season tickets are sold. Just because you don't go,
that's true.
Don't matter. They already got the money. They're sold.
And they give them away, so the stands are going to be full.
You know, so it's.
Bulls really quick. Bulls sitting at number 1 in attendance in the league. In the entire league.
Of course.
Yeah. Yep. And so when they asked, I forgot. I don't know if it was Casey. I don't think it was Casey Johnson. But when someone asked AK, like, do you think your bosses are happy with the job you did? He answered, "Hell yeah, they are. We're number 1 in the league in attendance. Yeah. We're putting on half-ass effort.
In seats.
You know, we give you a half-ass effort.
That's from asses in the seats. That's from something."
Yeah, I
know.
can't remember
doing
that.
a show or something, putting the
Yeah.
asses in the seats.
Put
Yeah.
asses in them seats.
You know, and we don't it's eerily similar to the Cubs before Theo got here. Remember, the Cubs didn't give a damn. They had a couple where they knew people were going to come. It didn't matter. They could lose 100 games. Didn't matter. People were going to take off of work, go drink in the bleachers. All right, and they knew they were coming. They didn't have to put a good product out there. They didn't, because they knew people were going to come.
And then that after Theo, remember that changed. And they started like, we better do something, because that attendance actually dipped, and it hadn't dipped in years. Because, after you fired Madden, you got rid of all, fan favorites. Whether it was time or not, you got rid of fan favorites, and then you were in the basement. And we were like, wait a minute. Now you're going to be in the basement 4 years after a World Series. You're not like rebuilding like others. You're not trying to turn into a dynasty. And people stopped coming. And they began to get a little embarrassed.
You know what? And none of those guys have really done anything. I mean, Rizzo might, but I mean, he's probably the most accomplished, and he's mediocre at best. Nothing by Javi, nothing by Bryant.
And he got hurt. You know how sometimes, just as the city needs a team, player needs the city.
Well, I agree with you.
Javi Baez, he needed Chicago. He needs Chicago. We didn't mind his errors, because he was going to make an El Mago play. So we thought it was just he was just so lovable, even if he struck out 20 times in a row. Oh, Javi.
With that big swing, man. With his big swing, man, if you would have hit that though, boy.
Right.
And then even with Chris Bryant,
big swing.
It was like, oh, Chris, that's okay. You'll get him next time, KB. And like, oh, Rizzo's so funny. So like they had, after winning the championship, we just loved you. No matter how bad you were. And so then you got rid of all of them. And you got players that maybe will be good. They're prospects, but as someone once famously said, they're suspects. You think they're going to be good, but you don't know. And so then we had years of bad, and then you had David Ross. You brought him in because he would be your yes man, and then he showed you why he probably shouldn't be. Once he lost players who were good, he showed you why he wasn't ready. And now you have Craig Counsell, and that's it. Well, I mean, you got in that one other guy, but it's still like,
the thing that they haven't dealt with, or they haven't acquired, are characters. All right, you got Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant was the hottest thing, number one baseball player in the country since he was like 5, since he started T-ball. All right, you had Rizzo, the cancer survivor, and you had El Mago. You had Javi, his flamboyant style of play. You
Lester, had good old boy Lester.
Yeah. You had characters.
You had characters.
It was a good moment in Chicago sports. Even as a Sox fan, it was a good moment.
Well, and then like if you go to 05, there were characters on there.
Absolutely.
So you had character, and then if you go to the Cubs in 03, 07, whatever, you had characters. You had lovable. You had controversial. Like you had something. And then in between, and now even this team right now, they're kind of blah.
Yeah, they're blah.
Advert is and Christopher Moret. Those two.
I hate the Cubs and their fan base, but man, they need to go. They gotta get Cody Bellinger. I love that dude, man. Yeah, you go get him, and you know what? The longer you wait, the more his price tag is coming down.
He's like, probably doing, but it's Scott Boras. I wonder how low he'll let it go.
Hey, at some point, he's got to feed his family.
Blake Snell hasn't been signed.
Who?
All these Scott Boras, Blake Snell.
Oh yeah, because he gets the top dollar, and now people are like, what?
He won the Cy Young, right?
Snell.
I think Blake Snell won Cy Young.
I don't remember.
I don't know Tim Anderson signing.
No Tim Anderson.
Oh, he sure hasn't.
Nope.
Oh, he's gonna be with Oakland.
That's what I'm thinking, or the Marlins or something.
No, he's gonna get a minor league contract with a spring training invitation.
Yeah, I hope.
Oh no, that's and I just hope. Well, I don't even. Just hope he's got his personal life in order.
I hope
Right,
so.
'cause that-
Hope he
'cause that-
cleaned his
Well,
house
he's
up.
going to be a father again. His wife is pregnant.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Because she stayed with him after the.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, she said
She
you
was
owe
like,
me.
"Well, I'm gonna hook into you for some more money."
Yeah,
That's
she's
right.
like, you know what? She goes, why leave and take half when I can stay and take all of it?
Right, right. Amen, sister.
Yeah, Blake Snell did win.
That's where you got that brother like, and that meme like,
Oh, right. Well, I take half. You can stay
Well, I
and
can
take
have all
all.
this shit. I'll take all this stuff.
This is true. Well,
Poor
hey,
Billy
Sean,
C.
man,
I'm sorry, I was about to talk
I
about
don't
you.
want to keep you all night, man. I know you're tired, but really quick before you go, who is the next Chicago team to win a championship?
Hawks, no. Bulls, no. Sox. I hate to say it, the Scrubs are the Bears, and the Bears are still a couple years away. The Cubs are too, but they're those two, man, those two. They, you know what? They're doing something. They're doing something good. They rebuilt. Hell, look at our rebuild. Our window went open close. There it is.
God. Yeah, it open.
You know, one of those old school windows that always closes like zoom. I'm gonna boom. Damn.
Right.
I didn't have my hand in there. That's
right. Caught my finger.
You know, put that stick in there to leave it open.
Yeah, you need it. That's how long our window was open on the south side. And you know the scary part is we have talent.
We still have some guys.
Still
on the
got
team,
talent.
I looked at the roster the other day. I'm like, damn, we still got him. We still got him. I'm like,
We still got Vaughn. We still got Yo-Yo. We still got Lubob. We still got Eloy.
Yeah.
We got Gavin Sheets.
But it's the Reinsdorf curse.
The first baseman.
Have talent. It's the Reinsdorf curse.
Vaughn, yeah.
Your teams have talent, and
now Pedro. He's mad at Pacoda for giving us 101 losses and was it 0.0? I went to my tailor today because I had to run into the city, and he's he's in Bridgeport. He's on 31st and right off of Wentworth, right off the expressway. And I walked in and I didn't even know what he was talking about. And he was like, "Did you hear 0.0.0.0.0.0.0%?" I'm like, Carlos, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, "That's the percentage they're giving the White Sox to make the playoffs." I'm like,
right.
You know what, bro? I just came in here. You start talking your ish. Come on, man. He's like, because I had a bunch of balls. I'm like, all right, dude. But yeah. And so now Pedro Gafol's like, oh, we're gonna prove them wrong.
Like, all right.
Now you're gonna what? You're gonna win 63 games so you don't lose 100. Is that what we're doing now? Like we didn't lose 100.
The Chicago Royals.
You know what? If they do, I will be ecstatic. I am debating right now. Like I haven't missed a Sox opening day except for COVID. Man, I can't even tell you. Been 15, 20 years.
Wow.
Easy. I've been. And I don't feel like paying $75. They're having a little tailgate and not even a huge tailgate. Like they're not having a party. Like my guy would have the parties and stuff, a big tailgate. And I was like $75 for that joker. I'm not giving Reinsdorf that. I'm like, shoot. I'm like, I'll go on a third party and see if I get a cheap ticket.
Yeah, you can.
You know what? And I'm telling you, because I'm not going to park in there. I'm not getting because it was $30 last year parking, so it might be $32.
So, yeah, by this time, yeah.
So I'm gonna park it in the Mariano's parking lot right there on Archer and Ashland, close to the 33rd and Ashland. Walk to 35th, hop the bus. All right, drink with some of my peoples out there, and if I don't go to the game, just hop the bus back and go and leave. I don't even want to give them money for the parking. Like I know the nonsense that he's put Sox fans through. All right, look at the new GM, same as the old GM BS that he's putting us through. You know, the lack of, the wasted 2 years. Which I think that really screwed everything up. The Tony
Yeah,
La
that
Russa
2
years,
years with Tony really
that
set him
screwed
back.
everything up.
That set him
You know,
back.
and then you want to keep raising prices, and you want us to go. Man, I would love to boycott, have like 150 people in the stands. Boycott the home opening weekend. Bump it, all right? Because we're not happy. And then what do? These jokers, they get really nice giveaways. I'm like, damn, I got to go buy a $3 ticket. And,
So I get my bobblehead.
yeah, I get the nice little shirt that I'm not going to wear this year, but I'll have it next year. Dude, somebody said something, and I was like, I said, F the Cubs. Like, what about your White Sox? Like, they suck too, but the hell, F your Cubs. I don't care.
Right.
We're not talking about my crappy White Sox. Leave us alone. Leave us alone.
Well, Sean, man, we have put you through it tonight, through the full gamut of emotions here, mostly negative emotions, because we've been talking Chicago sports here on Bull Spit. Once again, let's give it up for our friend Sean Sierra, aka Greg, aka the Superback.
Do you know the story about Greg, Kristen?
Was that from when you had asked the question?
No, so yes, it's from when they were talking about me on the score.
Yeah.
And Mark Grote's like, oh, and they said, oh, they found out who it was. Like, oh yeah, Grote's, Grote's in there. Let's see if he knows. So they asked him, and that's when Grote's like, oh, the dude's a really nice guy. He introduced himself. He's really cool, and he introduced himself as Greg. And then they found him a picture of me, whatever. Like, no, his name's Sean Sierra. I was like, no, his name's Greg. And it's like, no, it's Sean. And then Bernstein's like, well, maybe he introduced himself to you as Greg. And then a couple minutes later, he's like, yes. He goes, I don't know why Justin got mad. He goes, the first question was about the interception. He didn't get mad. He goes, then Greg asked a question about, do they have a short yardage package? And he's like, or maybe it was Greg who asked it, or maybe it was Sean who asked it. And then they started going back and forth. So the next week, I went up to him. I was like, hey, say Groats. I'm like, Sean, Greg. He's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. So my guy Armando Lara Jr., he's the biggest smart ass that I know, dude. So now he just started calling me Greg. So I'm like, let's run with it. So let's
run with it.
Let's run with it. So Greg,
that's a good backstory, Greg.
hey, it'll be like remember the Long Kiss Goodnight? It was Samuel L. Jackson, and he's being interviewed. He's like, he goes, I like to be earnest and frank with women. He goes, in DC, I'm earnest. And in Florida, I'm frank. I like Samuel L. So now Greg's my name whenever I don't want to mess with. I'm Greg.
There you go.
Florida man.
Oh, you guys are awesome, man. Hey, make sure you follow me on social media, guys, at Deshaun Sierra. My personal page, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Yeah, I'm a 52-year-old TikToker. I got till July before I turn 53, so let's embrace it. And follow Sports Zone Chicago. All right, follow Sports Zone Chicago on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. We have a Twitter account, Sports Zone Chi. We have a Roku channel, so if you have a Roku television in your house, okay, do me a favor, download Sports Zone Chicago's channel, put it right next to Stars, Hulu. All right, we just got done with Kanan. Raising Canaan from Stars. Put it right next to that.
There you go.
And you can watch us live on the big screen. And pretty soon, I'm actually going to, I was speaking with someone today. So we're going to get a swag shop going, have some shirts. And we're going to have, this will be one of the shirts there, Coaching Matters. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff for Sports Zone Chicago. So that's on the horizon this season. So make sure you check it out.
Doing big things.
Yeah, we're moving on up.
Big things.
Yeah, so we're moving on up to the east side, baby.
All right. Moving on up.
Yes.
All right, my brother. Well, thanks again for coming on, man. And until next time.
Dude, we've been on almost an hour?
Yeah, we've been on an hour.
It felt like 15 minutes.
Good stuff, though, man.
Time flies when you're having fun, man.
That's right.
All right, brother. Catch you later.
Video, Kristen, thank you for having me. I will see you guys soon.
Our pleasure.
Right.
Peace.
All right.
That was our friend Sean Sierra from Sports Zone. Always a good time was had. Well, Kristen, the time has come. Any closing sentiments or thoughts?
No, pitchers and catchers. First game is on the 20th. First spring training game is against Cub Sox. They're playing each other on the 23rd.
Always excited about baseball season starting.
Yeah, it's a sign of new things, and then
spring and
the Bulls get a nice little break that they need desperately,
Yes.
and they'll be back next Thursday. And then the Bears, I just want the saga over. I mean, I almost want to just put Justin out of his misery. Don't bring him back here. He doesn't need. I mean, if he's bad, the first game, if he's bad or they lose and he's good and they still lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want him to stay here, but why even go through that?
You know what? Because the thing is we're going to go through something, whether it's him or Caleb, we're going to be going through it.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like pick your pile of shit to step in.
That's all right. Yeah.
Because we are Chicago sports, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. And with that being said, thank you all for joining us. Shout out to Easy. Shout out to the whole Chicago Clubhouse Network. This is Emilio Bucks.
This is Kristen Petit.
And we will catch you next week. Peace.
Bye.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.